Hello friends, it's Kelly and I have a layout process video for you today, and I'm quickly showing you the papers that I'm using from the Alena Collection from 49 and Market. And the paper names were Exquisite, and I can't remember the first one, but so I had already kind of started this, and then I decided, I'm gonna go ahead and film. I am creating a torn paper, kind of torn and curled paper edge on the top and on the bottom of this, and I spend a lot of time curling that paper here. And I just put a little bit of red cardstock. I layered that underneath the pattern paper just because I felt like it gave it a little more contrast on this page. I felt like it needed a little something to separate. And I'm using this Uncharted Mariner. Is that the name of it? Or did I just make that up? Let me see. Yes, Uncharted Mariner Distress Oxide to ink my edges. And I'm trying to remember to ink all my edges, but it's a habit that I've gotten out of. But you'll see me have to go back and forth and because I forget. So some of the things are inked and some of them aren't, but it's okay. I don't feel like everything has to be inked. I just really wanted to ink the things that need to stand out a little more on the layout. So I'm using the packaging off this Art Options Alena Collection laser cut packaging. On the back of it has cut aparts, which I love, and I'm using that to mat my photo. And you saw me use my tear ruler there to give it kind of a jagged edge. And I know that I want to use this little window frame, but I want to use the frame too, but in the end it just doesn't work. I can't make that framework. I feel like it was too bold of a piece for what I'm wanting to. I didn't want the focal point of the whole layout to be the frame, so I went a different route. And so here I am just going to layer a little bit more pattern because I did want to add a little bit of color, but not quite the boldness of that frame. And so I choose this frame, which has kind of a torn edge distress look already. And while it's still a bold color, it's not quite as big, and it's not quite as bulky as the other, or heavy, I guess is the word I'm looking for. It's not quite as heavy as the other frame that I had originally wanted to use. So this photo is of my grands. They were at a little photo shoot right before a little photo shoot they were doing for Christmas, and this was just a couple of weeks back. But so they were. This is a photo that my daughter took. And it turned out really cute. So I'm a new subscriber to a kit subscription company called My Creative Scrapbook, which I think they've been around for quite a while, but for some reason I guess I've been under a rock. I hadn't really heard of them until recently. And the way I learned about them was I follow a lady named her username is City Scrapper, and I love her style, and she's a designer for this kit company. And so long story short, I fell in love with the kits and subscribed because it's kind of the style that I have been vibing with lately. So so I subscribed in October and got my first kit like right at the end of October, which is what you're seeing me use here, most of it. Some of it I can't remember exactly what. I think it was the die cut pieces that I had from that I'd already ordered. I don't remember. But the kit is gorgeous, and I love everything that I've seen so far from this company, and look forward to being a subscriber. I've already gotten my November kit, which is also gorgeous. It's a Christmas. It has a Christmas theme, so I will be using that soon. Not quite yet. So back to the layout. So I'm just tucking lots of fun little embellishments and florals under these paper layers that I've created. So I've kind of created a little pocket. I haven't glued it all the way down so I could tuck things underneath the top and the bottom layers of patterned paper in cardstock. And I like the bit of dimension that it gives, so it looks like things are, coming up out from under the paper, and I love that look. I just kind of think it makes it interesting. It makes you want to look at it and see, well, where is that coming from? So it's one of those techniques I feel like that make you want to really touch a layout, and gives lots of dimension and interest. And I'm just going through lots of my embellishments that I have, and these laser cut sheets have so many elements. Like, I could probably make 4 or 5 heavy embellished layouts just using one of the laser cuts sheet or one of the laser cut packages and some of the pattern paper, because there's so much. And I love that Katie Petite is the designer, and I love that she puts things in different scales. So these right here, I'm using these postage stamps. Well, there are postage stamps that are the same design, but they're bigger, and then there's some that are smaller, and then there's some that are tiny, and I love that you have lots of options in size as well. And the same for the florals. Some of the florals are a larger scale, some of the florals are a smaller scale, which makes it ideal for when you like to do layouts like this, where you want to layer and create big clusters of elements. You need all sizes. So I love these, like, they're little silver charms. They almost look real to me. When you see them on a page, it almost looks real, but of course it's not. It's paper. And I always say that about Katie Petite's. It's like some of the ties and things, like bows, they look like the real deal. So I think, which is pretty cool. And I love all the butterflies in her collections. Like, you can never have enough butterflies, I don't think, or too many. That and florals. You just can never have enough, in my opinion. So I spend a lot of time. You have to be pretty careful when you're pulling off like some of the leaves, and because some of the embellishments or some of the elements on these laser cut sheets are very not fragile so much, but very delicate. So you have to, otherwise if you're like in a hurry like I usually am and you just try to rip them out of there, it's gonna break. So most of this layout is of me just trying to find places to put embellishments because, as you can see, I like a lot of embellishments. And I really love how this ends up coming out. I think it's such a beautiful color scheme and so much beautiful embellishments that I get to use. That, I mean, like I've said this before, you'd be pretty hard pressed to make an ugly layout using one of the 49 Market's collections, because everything in it is just so beautiful. So let me see. Now I'm pulling out the flowers, and that's one thing I love about my creative scrapbooks kits is they come with 3 packages of flowers, from what I can tell. That's what I've seen so far. And so you get a big flower, a medium flower, and a small flower, which is perfect for scrapbooking. Get all the sizes. So right now I've opened up the biggest flowers, and I'm getting those glued down. I use my jar of water there to to weight that one down and make sure the glue dried. And now I'm pulling out the smaller. So these are the more medium-sized florals. I ended up not using those because I just feel like I already have a lot going on. I didn't really need those on here. So I'm going to use some of the smaller ones just to add a little more texture and color to these 2 or to the 3 clusters that I have going on here. I think that's one more. And so you'll see me every once in a while go in and start just gluing adding a little more glue, because I try not to add too much glue in the beginning, just so that I still am able to layer things. So this will be my final finishing little touch, and that is these little gems that I will just sprinkle around the page here and there. I always like to find like a little crevice or something to tuck these in, like between 2 objects. I don't even know how to explain it, but like a little corner. And that's where I usually will put my gems or enamel dots or whatever I'm using at that time as a finishing touch. And I also like to tuck them up underneath things so you can just kind of see them peeking out. So I'm almost done with this layout. I will add a little more glue and a couple of more gems, and then I will be done. Thank you so much for watching, and there will be some close-ups coming up really soon. And thank you for being here. I know you have a lot of choices of YouTubers to watch, and I am honored that you have chosen to watch my video. So have a wonderful day, and I will see you later with another video soon. Bye-bye.